record for real. There we go. Welcome, everybody. I'm excited for this. This is probably, we're starting our 30 days today, our 30 days of focus. And we're going over actually, this is not only the number one requested topic by all of you, but I'd have to say it's probably definitely the most important thing that you can really start to take ownership and learn. It's something that I've learned greatly through this process, not only on my health, but every area of my life, but it's mastering a bulletproof mindset. So tonight to actually speak on that, we have some guest speakers, but our host tonight is going to be certified health coach, Dawn Chow. So Dawn, are you there?
Hey, Brad, I am here with all these amazing people. So I'm super excited because we're actually kicking off, our 30 days Ignite, our health focus group. And we've spent the last week preparing. And so whether you're joining in tonight for the very first time and just kind of getting a feel for it, or you've been preparing with us for the last week, this is all about setting you up for success over the next 30 days and beyond, far beyond. But Brad, I'm really excited because tonight's topic is Bulletproof Mindset. And I would say that it's the mental component, it's the mindset piece that has changed the most for me in my health. And that is the component that, I lost 45 pounds. Woohoo! But I've kept it off. And now 7 years later, still living healthy. And so that's just really awesome. And so what I kind of wanted to kick us off thinking about today is all the tools that we have in our tool belt and we have in our hands to actually set us up for success. And that's the piece of that bulletproof mindset. That's that piece where we can really anchor our health journeys right now as we're heading into the next 30 days, this next season, because it's all about, where we're coming from right now and where we desire to be. So over this last week and last Thursday, we did a intention creation chat, and we talked about really writing down what we want to create, what we want to bring into our lives. So not just fixing the things that maybe aren't going well right now, but really looking forward to bringing health into our worlds long term. And so setting your intentions, writing those down. So hopefully everybody has a piece of paper. And if you don't, if it's blank right now, no worries. Grab out a blank one and get a pen because you'll be able to fill those out tonight. But grab those intentions. And there's a really important part about writing them down because that gets them out of our head and out of this dreamland and into reality. It's something we can actually attain. It's something we can actually tangibly do if we've got it written down. So write them down, snap a screenshot. Send those to your health coaches. Really that's a great thing to do right now is get in touch with your coach. Let them know what you're excited about doing. Set it as a screensaver on your phone. So setting those intentions is one of the tools I wanted to chat about. The second one is really having a plan in place. And we talked about that last week too. And if you're kind of thinking about where you want to go and what your game plan is going to be to get there, then definitely this is the time to really solidify that game plan and have it in place. And then of course it's writing down, where's our current reality? Because we can say where we want to go, but we got to know where we're starting from. So have you taken a before picture? And I'm just going to go ahead and be bold, you guys, and say, snap that before picture because you're going to want it. Because you've probably seen in the client support pages, there are before and nows being posted. And that's, people's journey up to this point. But guess what? We all get to make a new version of those at the end of this next 30 days. And that's going to be so powerful, not only in showing us how far we've come so that we can celebrate, but also in creating our stories for, if you want to be one of the 10 trip earners coming with us in July to this amazing resort and awesome health conference, then that's going to definitely be something you're going to want because it's super powerful to do that. So take a picture. It adds a ton of accountability. Go ahead and post it. So send it to your coach. Put it in your client support page. And you know what? Put it out into your world because you would be surprised about the people who are really, really, really going to cheer you on. So this morning wrote my intentions, Brad, snapped a picture, took a picture of where I'm at and posted it out there. And you know what? That accountability is super powerful. And I'm really excited for that. Anything you kind of wanted to add, Brad? This is our first day of the next 30 days. So can you maybe just remind us what the layout's going to be and what we can really expect over the next 30 days?
Yeah, exactly, Don. And just to also remind everyone here, what's great about this is these are the topics all based on allowing us to focus. One, focusing for seasons is a huge part of health in itself. And so we're learning things here. Bulletproof Mindset was the number one recommended or number one asked for topic for people to understand, like, what are these things that help people have these victories? You saw, like, many of you guys probably saw that we posted a ton of before and afters of our real life people that we work with. Some of them included ourselves and people that we know inside the pages. There are things that come together that really actually make these things happen. So just to kind of give one piece of like insight of how this is all connected, besides, we're going to have a few people share tonight, is having an intention is actually part of a bulletproof mindset. Because when you create an intention, when you lock in on where you want to create and have clarity on that, that's actually what helps things become easier when you are focused. So that's the reason why we had this. And if you haven't filled this out yet, then that's what the reminder is tonight. We're giving you guys a whole week to set this up. And hopefully you guys have learned like how last week was all about prep week. And hopefully you guys learned how important prep week is important to a success long-term, but also adding into a bulletproof mindset. So that's why we had this here tonight and why we wanted to go over this. And just kind of remind people what it is that we're doing. I'm going to share my screen real quick here. Let me see here. The thing's right in the middle of, there we go. Play from the beginning. So this is the week's topic that we're covering, igniting bulletproof mindset. And like Dawn was saying, we have a week layout of what we're going to be covering here week by week for the 30 days. And the first one was preparation. We covered that already. Hopefully you guys have learned like, oh my gosh, I'm so much more focused and so much more on top of it, taking a little bit more time to be in preparation. So hopefully you guys have already got that. That's why we did preparation. This week is all about bulletproof mindset. And so if you haven't done that piece of paper yet, go ahead and do that. Send that to your coach. And honestly, Dawn, I don't want to skip over what you were talking about. I was taking it before and now. I put that out there, and I remember because I do that often, and I know it can be kind of scary. That's why it's an optional step that you can do, but that really just adds to your validity. You put it out there in the world. Part of putting it out there for accountability and working with your coach and working in a group of people that want to see you be successful is part of a bulletproof mindset. There's a reason why all these people are having these results that we see on a typical basis. So if you're up for that challenge, you can go ahead and start and do that bulletproof mindset deal by stepping out there and making that post. Next week, we're going to be going over mastering a lifestyle. Like a lot of people ask, like, how do you do these things that help you create health? We're going to go over flow, understanding our bodies, different things long-term. We're going to be going over all the nuts and bolts of how our bodies work and creating a nutritionally balanced lifestyle. Week number 3 is igniting wealth. And we don't just mean by finances, although we will be covering that. We mean igniting wealth in every area of your life and abundance within that. And then week 4, we're going to come back with sustainability, because that's about the time where we start having our diet mentality kind of come in and kind of creeping in and starting to fall away, is we want to focus on helping ignite long term. And then the very last call, we're going to show you how to wrap up, look at your victories, and keep on going. Ashley Miller is going to speak on this here in a few minutes, but we're also going to show you everything you need to know to create that video, because that's actually what we're doing is we're coupling this with a contest that our company's putting out. Is they're going to give out 10 grand prize winners for people to go to our health convention at a resort in Dallas, Texas in July. And we honestly think that if we, by focusing on this, because we're kind of giving you guys like the inside pieces of the kind of videos and the kind of stories that they're going to pick, if you follow this, I think all 10 winners, Don, can probably be from our group, don't you think?
I totally do. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're going to just, Ashley's going to be our main speaker tonight, speaking on Bulletproof Mindset. We've already kind of gone into it, but I wanted to share, Don, bring on a few people that have bulletproof mindset and like how they've accomplished this. So Dawn, our first person that we wanted to bring on tonight was Denise Heinrichs. So did you want to introduce her? Because you know her.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So excited to introduce you, Denise. And so we're going down, I almost said California, but Denise is in Boise now. She moved. That's the beauty of helping people. You can do it from anywhere. Denise is just a really amazing woman, a nurse. So that's close to my heart, but where she started and where she is now has really taken the epitome of a bulletproof mindset. I mean, it takes a lot to create health long-term health in your life. And Denise, if you could just come off mute and share with us. I mean, we can see the pictures. We could see that you started and you were in a wheelchair and you couldn't walk. And I know the vibrant, beautiful woman that I know now because I didn't know you then. But can you explain to us just a little bit about what that journey's been like and a little piece of the mindset? Because I think that's what really people always ask me, how do you do this? How do you do it when you have setbacks or maybe odds that, people look at you? This is inspiring. So Denise, I'd just love to hear a little bit from you about that.
Thanks, Dawn. And my voice doesn't project real well, so let me know if I need to speak up. I look at these pictures and it just, even now, amazes me how a simple thing like what I put in my mouth drastically changed my life. Yes, that's me in a wheelchair. And I was on 22 medications, lost the weight in 7.5 months. And having that bulletproof mindset to keep it off has been very, very important. Dawn, you know, as being a nurse, we're not taught this stuff in school. We really aren't. But to learn this as a client on my own journey, dreaming, writing down the heart of my why. It gets very real when you write it down, and there's actually a chemical response in your brain when you do that. And send that to your coach. And Dawn, you've inspired me to go and take a now again as I'm kicking it up, getting ready for Costa Rica and getting ready for the summer. I want to be able to wear a two-piece again, even at 57 and being a grandma. You know what? I want to enjoy life, and I'm so excited about the 30-day focus group for that reason. It's really helping me kick my health up a notch. But you asked me, how have I kept my weight off? How have I been bulletproof? Is staying in the community, staying focused. I talked with Susie, my health coach, today. She inspires me to keep going. She knows what I've been through. She knows my individual journey and helps me get in that right mindset for that. And I can't help but mention that health coaching has been incredible. And inspiring other people helps me in my own journey. I get up in the morning and I can't believe that I get to hear other people share their stories and how this amazing program has helped their life. But I really feel like it's all for me. They're doing it and helping me in my own journey be strong. So, and then dreaming even more to find my why beyond my why. Once we get to a goal, it's so important that we reach beyond that. And being analytical and being a spreadsheet person, I didn't dream in the beginning. And I found that that's so important because you can create this. It is a dream. I'm living a dream in Idaho now, out running around and playing with my grandkids, and enjoy every non-scale victory along the way. It's not all about the scale. It's about what you can do with that health. The side effect is that you get to wear cute clothes and the scale goes down. So I really challenge you, pull out those tools. Someone asked me yesterday, how do I keep my weight off? The Optavia guide and the charts, the 6 optional charts with all the great fuelings and options on it are still my Bible. This and Dr. A's Habits of Health. I wouldn't be where I am today without my community or those tools. And thanks, Dawn, for letting me share.
Oh my gosh, Denise. No, the chat's blowing up. I love it. So you just shared some amazing things, and I just want to recap so people can kind of like get those nuggets of gold that you sprinkled in there. I mean, your story, so inspiring. And you guys, we have thousands of stories like this, but Denise, the things that you shared were spot on. So the one thing I heard you say was dream big, dream bigger. Sorry. Lost you guys for a second. But dream big, dream bigger, right? And then, so if you can envision it and like reach out, grab someone's hand and link arms with them. So that accountability, and then use your tools, right? And then stay the course. It's every day, right? You just show up and you dream a little bigger and you do it every day. And then pretty soon you're living your life and you're looking for your why or your dream beyond your dream. That's Absolutely. Awesome, Denise.
Yeah, and I tell everybody, look for the heart in that why. Not just why, but what is the heart behind that? Yeah, it does get emotional at times, and it gets real. You're talking about us putting out there a before picture, an after picture, during picture now. I'm like, oh, that freaks me out. But you know what? I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to face my fear, and I'm going to do it.
That's awesome. And putting a picture up there is totally optional, but you know what? Go all in. You get out of things what you put into them. So if you want to put that in, then go for it, Denise. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, I love that. So Brad, do we have a couple other people that are excited to share tonight about that bulletproof mindset? You want to introduce Bobby?
Yeah, Bobby, Mike, are you guys there tonight?
We are. I
Yes.
am. We're in
Yes.
separate locations, but we're here.
Alrighty, perfect. We're running a little bit long on time. We want to keep the call pretty short, but your guys' journey really speaks for itself. I have your before and after on the page here, and you and Mike, you've tried a lot of things in the past, Bobby, and same with Mike. You lost, just fill people a little bit on how much you lost, but what's changed for your health. And just, if you could just share like one or two pieces of like, cause you've actually, since the start, you've all been about a healthy mindset. Just give me some people some tips, because you haven't found the weight since losing it in creating a healthy lifestyle. So just share with us some tips tonight as we kind of help people start off. And this is all our community right here, learning the same thing together, building that bulletproof mindset.
You go first, Mike.
Okay. Well, the one thing that makes me think about this is that the program itself is bulletproof. I went through this after watching Bobby be so successful on the plan and lose 45 pounds. I didn't help her. I didn't do anything. It's just like, well, let me give this a try. And I didn't have very much mindfulness with it. And I lost 45 pounds myself, got down to a healthy weight. But because I didn't have that mindfulness, I kind of slipped, and the journey went up and down a little bit, and realized after the holidays here that I had gotten back to a place I didn't want to be. So just a little bit of mindfulness with it. And I lost 19 pounds in January and got back to where I wanted to be. And it's a matter of, a diet is something you think about negatively, and it's something you're working, what I can't have, what I can't do. You have mindfulness with the positivity of this program. You're working towards something, and you become bulletproof. It's something that it's just your lifestyle. We had dinner last night and we were talking about it. When you have a partner, it's really not that hard to develop a healthy, bulletproof lifestyle.
So good.
You're so great. He's so great.
All right, Bobby, what do you got to add to that?
Well, I liked what Denise and Dawn wanted to said something about, making sure that you have your goal and your why, and visit it often. I had a little tag from a pair of jeans that I wanted to fit into, and it was the size of the jean that I wanted to fit into, and I taped it to my mirror every morning. So when I would get up, I was reminded to be mindful of that goal. So doing little things like that was very helpful. Also, just leave nothing to chance when you're going through this program. The path is there. All you have to do is walk down that path. It is set for you. If you follow it, you will be successful. And that is an amazing program to be able to live by and to adapt into our lives now. So there is no reason not to be successful, because it's just laying there right for you. And also too, one of my big things is I don't give food that much energy. I would find myself before thinking about, okay, I just finished breakfast, so what am I going to have for lunch? Or what do I get to have for dinner? And it's breakfast, that kind of thing. We give food so much energy, but food basically is nothing but fuel. If you can create the mindset that food is fuel and nothing else, you don't give it that much power, and you end up giving power to other areas of your life. And not only do you get healthier, but a little bit of happiness follows along the way. So those are my takeaways. Just be prepared, get in touch with your why, and don't give food that much energy.
I love it, Bobby. That was actually truly incredible. And I hope people catch on to it. There was a few things you guys both said when you developed the bulletproof mindset, because it goes into it. Is one, Mike, when you started, basically you made the decision that this was going to be your lifestyle, instead of being like, oh, is this something I hope I can do? You were talking about positive versus negative. Like, that has literally been a massive switch. And if you guys are catching on these, we're going to be having a Zoom on Thursday or a live on Thursday where we can discuss this or ask questions a little bit more. But I hope you take that and play around with what Mike said this week. That was so huge. And Bobby, just the tips of reminding yourself so you come back to them daily, not giving food energy, and food is fuel. Like literally this all goes into, when you start to adopt it, it's not something you can just get, it's something you have to practice. This is literally what adds up to being a bulletproof mindset. So I don't know if we could add better tips on that, but we're going to actually have Ashley come on. Don, do you want to introduce Ashley today? Because she's going to actually take us home with the last few tips and kind of some ground roots rules on what you can do to practice this week. So go ahead and introduce Ashley for us tonight.
I would love to. Okay, so Ashley, aside from being your beautiful, amazing wife, is one of my mentors and someone that I look up to. So you guys, one thing just in general, but when you look for someone that you want to emulate or you want to be like, or when you're studying the success of other people, one thing about being in a group is that we can look around and we can see how other people are successful. We get to study them. Ashley's truly like a guru in this area of mindset and of really speaking clearly into that. So I'm excited to bring her on because not only does she study other successful leaders and the mindset of being bulletproof and breaking through in life in general, but she's just someone who I look up to, have learned a lot from, and that process of learning and becoming better is part of really studying the people that do the do. So, I mean, Ashley is someone who does the do. She has a great, wonderful health story. She helps hundreds of clients. And I'm excited that she gets to speak to us tonight about this idea of bulletproof mindset. So Ashley, come on off mute and share with us tonight what you've got for us.
Thank you, Dawn, so much for that introduction. This was so helpful to hear Denise and Mike and Bobby and Dawn and Brad's insights, because I think what I see is the patterns. So Brad and I have been coaching for 8 years, and I think that people think there's this big distinction between like, oh, this person must be special because they figured it out or whatever. And I only really, at the end of all of it, I see basically 2 categories between the difference between someone who is moving forward in their health and someone who is staying the same and then moving backwards. And I think that you could tell from the things that all of them were saying that it all comes down to your perspective. So I coached 6 people this past week through their first 4 days. And so it was 6 different, same calls, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. And the ones that clearly were having a easier time, I guess you would say, they're all doing exactly the same program. So the only thing that came down to it, literally the only thing, was how they were viewing it. And so some of them were choosing, even if something had maybe an obstacle or they could have seen it as an excuse, didn't. Like, they were in charge of their mindset. They came into it with such strong, clear reasons and goals. And then the ones that kind of like, I don't know, there was like, then I had other calls where it was like, oh, I'm so hungry and I'm so this, I'm so that, and I'm that. And like, it's the same program. I mean, I've experienced it multiple times. So it all came down to like, the other people may have been hungry too, or may have had a headache too, but how they came to the call was like, hey, here's my situation. Here's like the dynamics. What can I do to move forward in this? Or it just didn't even bother them at all because they were so focused on where they were going. It was like, who cares? It doesn't matter. So I'm not going to really go into the full class because that's what Thursday's for, but to get you started, that is really what this is going to be about. And I think that's what I get asked the most often is, like I said before, what's the difference between someone that's succeeding and somebody that frankly isn't? And when I was being asked, when I threw this idea of a class out there, that was the questions I was getting was like, I want to know that answer. I want to know the difference maker. So that's what we will be talking about.
Hey, Ash, what would be great is we're going to practice a little bit of this tonight, and you share with me a little bit about the stuff you wanted to cover about like how you set a goal. I mean, you covered some great, I think number one, if anyone walks away from this, it's It's how you look at it, and it's what it's focusing on what you want to create. That's why we did these whole papers right here. It gets abundantly, again, developing a bulletproof mindset, it becomes abundantly easier when you know what you want. It gets abundantly harder if you don't know what you want. So some different tips on this, if you're kind of reworking this or building on it this week, is make sure you have things that you can accomplish. You can't accomplish more. You can't accomplish better. You can't accomplish less, because these are all things that set you up for basically not being successful, because we're Americans. You're going to want to be, the second you do more, that you're not going to be doing it good enough. So make sure you make things that are attainable for you in this process. But back to you, Ashley, as we kind of wrap this up, I thought we could leave some people, because you share with me some things that you do when you set a goal. I thought maybe you could go into a little bit of that tonight as we wrap up, just a few minutes on those things, if you could tonight.
Sure. So, okay. So I wrote down like 3 different tracks on this, so I'll try to figure out which one I want to talk about. I think, square one is, what do you want? Hands down, period. What do you want? Like, quit looking around at other people and look at yourself, and just stop. Like, stop comparing yourself to other people. I don't care what someone else is doing in their own lane. It has nothing to do with me. They're not me. It doesn't matter. Anything. I'll look to others for inspiration, but I refuse to look at them for a negative comparison, period. So I think, like, don't look at other people to set your own goal. What do you want? And then why? Why do you want that? Like, I think it falls under the same thing, but get crystal clear on, like, why does that even matter to you? And then what are you willing to do to get what you just said you wanted? So you can be writing this down. Someone asked me, like, on the chat if I had questions, so you can write these things down. So what do you want? Why did you want that? And then what are you willing to do to get that? And also remember, no one is going to make you do this. Like, nobody. So you have to make it so crystal clear that this is what you want to do. You don't have to do it. No one's making you do it. There's no should involved. You shouldn't do anything. If you should be doing anything, it should be doing whatever the heck you want to do. So there you go. So what do you want to be doing? And then ask yourself, what excuses and stories and made up lies, whatever you want to call it, what are you making up that you're willing to drop? Oh, I'm getting a call. Sorry. Actually, Brad is. Okay. So what excuses and stories and made up lies and things that I heard as a kid and things my mom said, like, really? Because, like, you're a grown adult. So I think today gets to be the day you get to decide, I'm not playing that song anymore. Like, I'm over it. If it's not moving you forward, then just, you have to stop. So what excuses and stories and made up lines are you dropping? And then to replace that, because it doesn't just disappear. Like, yes, you're coming face to face with that, but what Denise was saying is, it's all about now, what does she fill her brain with? That's key. You can tell yourself all kinds of stuff and let go of stuff, but it's really coming down to you taking the responsibility to fill that up with something that is in line with what you do believe and what you are about and what you do think is true for yourself. And so I would say, like, what words, quotes, mentorship, and education will you adopt to replace and add to your mind to encourage you to where you're trying to go? My number one recommendation would be, if you don't have, or if you do have, Dr. A's I Choose Optimal Health book, it's time to open it and it's time to read it. Like, today is the day. Here's a line. I'm going to call it out. This is me. Like, this will be Thursday. So if you want more, sorry, this is just real. Okay. And I don't coach this hardcore, by the way. Like, I'm very empathetic in my coaching, but I'm just going to be real because you came here for this. I don't want to hear the line, I don't read. Over it, done. You do read. You know how to read. It's a huge privilege that you know how to read. End of story. If you want to actually move forward, I would probably read that book. You can hate the book. I don't care. You can burn it. I don't care. Just read the book. Don't keep saying I don't read. That's not a line that we even allow in our house because my kids aren't going to learn that. And no, it's not going to happen. You need something to fill your brain with, and you need to fill it like there's so much social media and there's so much visuals. It's time to fill it with something new, and reading is going to be what clicks. So get that book. We'll post it on the page if you don't have it already. And then, oh gosh, I don't know. That was a lot of stuff. Want me to say anything else, Brad?
I thought I muted myself. No, Ashley, I think that was so good. And just judging by the chat, I would say it was really good. Just a few other things just to point out as we go this week, and hopefully you guys can practice as we wrap up tonight, is that there's a few different things that Ashley said that was key there. So focusing on what you want, asking yourself what you will start doing, what you will stop doing, and how you will approach this to make this a reality. There's a few different things there, like just reading the chat while you were talking, Ashley, like someone was like, yes, you don't want to talk to your clients this way. Yes, you just to point out for that saw that, I think it was Cassandra, we don't talk to our clients this way.
No.
That's why this is a health huddle. I'm asking, really, how do you develop a bulletproof mindset? We're giving you the answers right now. I wouldn't recommend talking to the clients you work with, or if you're new on this call. Anyways,
I had someone last week kind of ask me to talk like this, and I still wouldn't do it. I was like, no, this is not like appropriate. Like, no, my job is to ask you questions. Like, but there was such a huge request for this that I was like, okay, I'll bring it. Like, it's fine. But FYI, this does not happen in my professional life ever. So,
but your mindset,
this is how to talk to a client. It's not.
Your mindset on this is huge, Ashley. I love it. You guys can see why I'm married to this girl right here. I love her to death. She makes me a better person. And the last thing I would say right here as we wrap up is she says something that we don't do in our household, and we don't use the word struggle in our household, because and when you have a bulletproof mindset, there are things that are going to be harder for you, but when you're crystal clear on where you want to go, there's not things you struggle with. There's only things that you decide you want to contend to be better at. And so you mentioned, Ashley, how people had already the vision of where they wanted to go. They came to you asking for solutions rather than telling you their problems on why they couldn't. I think that all goes into a bulletproof mindset. So
yeah.
guys,
Oh, can I say, I know we got to wrap up, but like there's two sides of it. Like don't come to your coach being like fake, like, and don't come to yourself being fake. Be vulnerable, be open, like be real, but choose your perspective on it. There's a huge difference. Like be real. Just how do you perceive the reality? So that's one. And then the other thing is, I don't talk to people like this, but I will say, like, I've done some pretty serious health stuff in my life. I've lost over 60 pounds doing the Nursing Moms program. I've done Miss Bikini America. So when it came down to those times where the wall needed to be broke, I really did talk to myself like this. No one talks to me like this, but I really do have to talk to myself like this to call myself out. So it's okay to talk to yourself like this. We just don't talk to other people. But that's it.
That is it. So I think the last thing I'll leave you with here tonight, guys, is another part of what Ashley is talking about is giving yourself grace. When you have clarity on this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. So don't beat yourself up over the little stuff, but do push yourself to be better. When I make a mistake in a bulletproof mindset, I say, wow, I'm human. I don't say, all right, great, that's fine. That's how I excuse my mistake. I don't beat myself up over it. I learn from it and move forward even faster, better, stronger. That's bulletproof mindset. Bulletproof mindset also doesn't mean you need to be perfect, but it does cause you to, you know what, Mike, I'm just going to give credit to Mike. He actually stole the call today. I'm sorry, Ashley. I'd have to say Mike.
You did awesome.
I'm going blank on it with basically what he said right there, but positive versus negative. And I've lost it. Ashley, I lost it.
He said the program is bulletproof.
Yep. The program is bulletproof. And oh man, I'll think about it later. I'm so bummed. It was so good. Mike said so many good things. I'm forgetting what it was right now, but basically it's about making progress over time and moving forward on it, which is, I think, one of the biggest things. So, guys, as we wrap up here, this is how you take advantage of the first 30 days. If you're just kind of chugging along and you like the topics, then great. We got great content over the next 30 days. We thought it'd be fun to break this up. Again, that's how to look at your health as over seasons like this. But if you really want to fully be in, make sure you have filled out your intentions. Again, you can't be bulletproof without intention. So that's why we had that right there. Here's the other thing. Send it to your coach. Like Don said, you have a partner in this for a reason. So your coach isn't going to judge you. They're just going to help you get what you want with all of that. And then share it in the Facebook page if you want to be really bold. And the bonus thing to be really bold on this is share your before and now. And guys, I'll tell you from experience, I'm still on my journey 8 years later. I did mine, and I'm not happy about where I am in my health right now. I've lost my weight. I've kept my weight off, but we built a house this last year, and man, did it take a toll on me. I want to get back to my personal best, and putting it out there literally was the cherry on top. Forgive the bad analogy, but that's the that's the cherry on top of a bulletproof mindset. I put it out there. I talked to my coach. I'm clear on my intention. I've got my focus. I've got my setup. I'm prepared. There's no way I'm not going to be successful now, because that is bulletproof mindset right there. So hope you guys enjoyed this. There's so many great things from the chat here. Hope you guys all have a great week and you have clear intentions on our 30 days ahead. And even if you're not fully caught up, this is the only thing to do right now. You have a whole week to do it and practice this. So bulletproof mindset, everybody. Thank you, Dawn and Ashley and everyone. Dawn, do you want to share anything as we wrap up here tonight?
No, Brad, you put a bow on it. This was awesome. I just love the fact that, even if tonight's your first night, this is your very first, there's no better time than now just to jump in to your future of your health. So, write your intentions, pick a game plan, pick any plan, connect with the person that invited you, and jump all in.
Yeah, that'll be great. All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Happy day one. Look forward to seeing all the victories in the chat and the more intentions being shared in the group. Talk to you guys later. Have a great week.